Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the DFS Dose YouTube channel, Twitch, Twitter, wherever you're watching this. Joey, how you feeling, buddy? Getting ready to draft our first entry into Drafters' new best ball tournament, $11, $25K up top.
Yep, $11 buy-in, 100K guaranteed, 8 out of 12. So if you want to draft with us, get in there right now. 4 spots left, 25K to first, like Ben said. Only 356 entries out of 10,000 right now, and we have exactly 1 month until the first NFL game of the season, which is the Cowboys versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So pretty excited for that, and I'm just ready for football to start. Just been banging out these best ball drafts, although I've taken quite a break over the last week or so, but back to it today.
Mm-hmm. Yep, same. I wish that this draft would have some slow draft potential. They should have done that.
They said they are doing slow drafts. Somebody tweeted them that I follow, and they said that slow drafts are coming soon for this contest. So I'm assuming this week. Like it has to be this week.
I mean, it better be soon.
It literally has to be, right? Like
you would think
you can't go any later than this week.
No, I mean, Underdog's turning off their slow drafts in, 9 days, they said, August 18th. No more slow drafts for the Puppy or Best Ball Mania 2, and they're going to be making their slow drafts 4 hours. So I'm interested to see with drafters potentially launching their slow option later. What's it going to be? Is it going to be a 4-hour clock off rip? Like what's it going to be?
Yeah, no, I think it will be 4 hours for slow drafts. And then obviously, the drafts are already going. They said that those are going to go from 8 to 4 hours. So they just want to get all the drafts done before the season starts. Like I said, a month away. 3 entries left into this contest if you want to get in there and draft with us. Drafters, obviously, is just a full total point site. If you already don't know, if you're watching this for the first time, total points, unlike Underdog, which is a playoff format. So this is just draft the best team possible, draft the guys that are going to score the most points. You don't have to worry about making it out of your 12-man league or, facing an 18-man league in week 15. It's just race to the finish line, and whoever scores the most comes in first place.
Yep, absolutely. And also, we are giving away 1 entry into this tournament on today's stream. How do you want to do it, Joe? Drop your drafters username in the chat, and we'll put you in the running for it. How are we doing this?
Yeah, we could do that. Just put your drafters username in the comments down below, and we'll pick a random winner either throughout the draft or at the end of the draft to give away a free ticket into this tournament.
Yep. Pretty easy. Drop a comment, maybe win 25K off it. Easier ways to get some free EV, right?
Yeah, right. For sure. I mean, a quick comment gives you a chance to win an $11 ticket, which gives you a chance to win 25K, which is, a decent chunk of change. So make sure you do that, and we'll keep track of everybody.
So we still need 3. People need to hurry up and join this, man. I'm fiending. I haven't been on drafters in a minute. Been, just hammering these puppy drafts, but I do love me some drafters, some full PPR.
Yeah, I definitely like full PPR better than half PPR, but the puppy entries just fill immediately, which is good, so you don't have to wait for people to join up, and you could just hammer out, 5-6 drafts in a couple hours on Underdog, which is nice. And yeah, but drafters, I like it. I like the total points format. I think the tournament format gives you more of an edge, though, I would say, just because there's a deeper level of thinking that goes into building your lineup around the playoff weeks and constructing your lineups in a thoughtful way. Over there on Underdog, but drafters, total points, I don't mind it. I just especially like the full PPR.
Yeah, absolutely. We did have some news break today. Aaron Jones is, injured, dealing with an injury. He's been working with the rehab group. A.J. Dillon's taking first-team reps at running back right now. Are you concerned with Aaron Jones? Do you think his ADP is going to fall as a result of this report? I guess we'll see shortly.
No, I don't. I don't think his ADP will fall much. He's going at the back end of the first round right now, which I think is pretty fair for a player that's finished top 5 in PPR in each of the last 2 seasons. Not too concerned about his hamstring injury right now. Like I said, month away. These players have enough time to recover before week 1 starts. So not docking him too much. And then we also had Saquon
Mm.
be elevated off the pup list, and he's practicing with the Giants today. So I think that puts him on track to start week 1. I don't know his workload limitations or anything. Obviously, I'm not a Giants coaching staff member, and I don't know what they're going to do with him, but I think he's going to be ready to go week 1, and I still like taking him in the back end of the first round. He has a current ADP of 12 on Underdog, which is a pretty drastic difference from 2-3 weeks ago when he was going in the top 5.
Yeah, for sure. And I think his ADP will bounce back first round, sooner rather than later, considering this news. I mean, he went from being somebody people were like concerned if he'd play in week 1 to Joe Judge saying he might be playing in the preseason, which I mean, I don't know about all that,
Yeah,
but
no, I don't think he's gonna play in the preseason at all. I mean that'd be kind of ridiculous. No,
yeah, but I mean, Joe Judge is, on the fast track to becoming a certified donkey. So,
he might already be there, and then Jason Garrett is definitely already
yep.
there. So, all right, we
Yeah.
need 2 entries. If you're not watching this, or if you're watching this and not joined up, make sure you join and come draft with us. We'll review your team afterwards and do all that good stuff. So,
hmm This could be the one. Think about it. This could
hop
be
in the draft.
25K right here, right now.
True, and honestly, I think this contest specifically is better money spent than the 555 at
Mm.
this point. 8,000 out of the 10,000 entries have already been drafted into that tournament. So I 100% believe that the winner has already been drafted. This contest has been running for 4 months now,
hmm
and ADP has shifted so much that I think the teams that got Daryl Henderson in the 13th, 14th round, and some of the wide receivers that were going in the 6th round that are now going in the 4th round, and then obviously some of the mid-range guys like Robbie Anderson and whatnot who were going in the 9th, 10th round, they're going in the 5th round now. I think in that contest, if you're just putting money in now, you're just dead, I think. But draft is starting, so draft is starting in 1 minute here. Ben with the 4th pick, and I
I'll
have the
take it.
10th pick. And as you can see, our first entries into this tournament.
Yep. We've been slacking a little bit, but we'll bounce back. By the way, if you're watching, drop your drafters username for a chance to win a free entry into this tournament. FT Houston, you're in there, who actually won our Discord member giveaway last week. So shout out to the kid.
Yep. Shout out to Houston. What a guy.
What a guy. I love this 4th pick. I really do.
I mean, I've seen a lot of people disagree with that, though.
Really? How come? What's the reasoning?
On half PPR, after CMC and Delvin Cook, you can, you could poke holes in every single running back on the board.
Yeah.
After those 2 guys, especially with Kamara and the quarterback situation there. Even though I'm not too concerned, Derrick Henry, workload concerns over the last couple of seasons, doesn't catch passes on a full PPR site. I probably won't take him. And like I tweeted, I have 0% Derrick Henry on Underdog, so full fading him there. Probably full fading him on drafters as well. Saquon obviously injury. Aaron Jones splitting time. JT quarterback situation. O-line situation.
In total
But
points, I don't think that there's any reason you can't take Tyreek Hill or Devontae Adams there.
yeah, true. I think the wide receivers are much better picks early on drafters rather than Underdog, but the ADP doesn't reflect that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I messed up. That's why if you're watching and this is my screen, I imported like ranking, like the running back rankings to get Cam Akers off of the top of my list, but since I imported just the running back rankings, it only shows running backs, and I really don't know how to fix it. So
You can't hit all.
no, because I imported just the running backs.
Yeah, you're bugging.
So I have to individually click on each to
Jeez.
see. Yeah,
Jeez,
I'm kind of
dude.
tweaking.
Yeah, you're tweaking for
I
real.
like I said, I haven't drafted in like a week, and I forgot to fix it. So it is what it is. But on we go. Um,
Show must go on, as they
I
say.
I I definitely think you can consider taking a wide receiver at the 104, especially after Kamara goes.
It's not even a consideration. It's a guarantee. Give me Tyreek all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take him. I mean, come on.
Definitely think that makes the most sense for sure. And I'll probably go wide receiver as well from the 1010, unless I get like a Zeke or something down there or Eckler. But we got some of our Discord members in this draft, and they'll probably snipe us all draft long. So
Yup. Classy. We already know what he's about. Getting Derrick Henry, though.
the big dog,
Big
okay.
dog, number 5. Adams goes 6. Yeah, Adams, I mean, he went from being a guy who was consistently available in the second round during the Aaron Rodgers drama to being, back in the mix for a top 2 wide receiver pick. I think we saw that coming, but I mean, man, hopefully you were in those drafts during, that time period, hammering that Devontae Adams value because,
Yeah.
oof.
Yeah, and obviously, like we were talking about it earlier in the Discord, um, and the puppy too specifically, you're not you're not really hurt if you take Devonte Adams at his current ADP now because the contest just started. But in this contest, you could have got Devonte Adams, or not in this
Not
eleven
in this
dollar, but
contest.
in the 555, you could have got Devonte in the mid to late second. So, but right here, I think it's an easy pick. Stephon Diggs over these running backs 100% of the time. I mean, Saquon, like I was just talking about, question marks, JT, Nick Chubb doesn't catch passes, Aaron Jones is hurt. One of them is going to fall to me at the turn, so I'll probably consider one of them, especially if these top 2 guys go and Hop and Ridley. But if one of these falls, I'll probably take them over the running backs. Just historically, running backs just bust at a much higher rate than wide receivers in best ball, and in fantasy in general. And people just still aren't on board with that, notion.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you want your CMC, your Dalvin Cook, because those guys have, the upside to be the number 1 overall scoring player, at a scarce position. But in the back end of the first round, early second, the wide receivers are just so much better picks than the running backs, in my opinion. And they bust at a lower rate. So,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when I've been finding myself sort of where you're at in the 10, 11, 12 range, I've been going like, Diggs Ridley, Hopkins Ridley at a pretty high rate lately.
yeah. I
And
mean,
yeah, I love that. I love that
that
start for you.
that's an easy start because I'm just never taking DeAndre Hopkins above Nick Chubb. Joe Mixon, there's a case personally. I mean, everybody knows I'm not on Joe Mixon. I'm never doing that. And Najee Harris, no shot. So Gibson is the only guy that I would seriously consider taking above Hopkins at that spot, and then he goes to Bob at the 9th spot. So
Let's see what our boy Philly does.
Philly,
Already got 11 entries into this thing. It's my
yeah,
son.
yeah, what a guy. CEH,
All
okay.
right.
I
Little
mean,
Eckler CEH vibes. Okay.
I'm not drafting CEH. He's one of the players that I have very few exposure to. We've talked about it before. I just don't think that he's a workhorse running back in the NFL. It's that simple. This is the rounds where you draft the workhorses or projected workhorses, and I don't think he is one.
Right now, I'm going to go with one of my favorite discounts at the wide receiver position. and that's DK Metcalf. I think he's in the same tier as the rest of these guys that have gone, and he's consistently the last member drafted of this group, and I don't see why not. He has wide receiver 1 overall in his range, especially if his route tree gets expanded this year. Dude was, a top tier wide receiver running one route all year last year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that the 5 guys are in a tier by themselves. So I'm happy to get 2 of the top 5. And then I think there is a little bit of a tier break after Hopkins, but Metcalf, AJ, Justin Jefferson, they're all great young superstar wide receivers. Definitely, you can make the case that they could all be the wide receiver 1 overall. I think I think I would have them in the second tier though. But this early, like, third round range is, I think, a very good spot to draft wide receivers. Because you get your CD, Keenan, A-Rob, Terry McLaurin, Amari Cooper. It's just the perfect spot to just hammer wide receivers, especially on a full PPR site. So I think you're probably considering going 3 wide receivers off the rip, I'm assuming.
I am. It's a
But
bit of a debate here, but
Kittle there is interesting too.
yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at here. It's, would I rather go with Allen Robinson or Kittle? And I think I'll just go Kittle here. I've got 2 strong wide receivers already, and Kittle, helps with roster construction on a 20-team league. I can take more shots on wide receiver late, and Kittle, sets me up for a 2 tight end build, which is optimal, I think. So,
yeah, definitely like that pick. Kittle, obviously great player when he's on the field. Durability has just been, the question mark with Kittle throughout his career so far. But when he's out there healthy, he's a top 3 tight end in the NFL. And earlier in the year when Waller and Kittle were flip flopped, I think the market corrected itself, and I think it's in the right order now. So if you were drafting earlier and getting Waller in the 3rd round, those teams are pretty good now, in my opinion.
Kwasi was going to double down, go with Waller and Kittle if I didn't take him there.
Yeah.
I feel you.
I
don't like that strategy.
I haven't done that.
It won last year, though.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely make the case because, if you're capturing so much of the tight end market, especially up top, doesn't let your opponents get an elite tight end, and they'll play for your flex every week. I think it's a viable strategy. I haven't done it personally, but you could definitely make the case for it. So
no, I mean, you're one of the faces of the anti spend up at tight end movement. I couldn't see you going there.
I never pay up for tight end. Well, that's a lie. I'd never pay up for tight end in DFS. In best ball, I think you gotta have exposure to the top guys. Very similar start to my underdog draft that I just finished up, where I started with Ridley, Hopkins, and Woods. So that's pretty funny. But 3 elite wide receivers off the rip on a full PPR site, can't beat it. Could go with my wide receiver 4 here, Jamar Chase. I don't know if you saw the report, but there was a pretty negative report out on Chase today or yesterday or whatever, and some people are down on him now. I don't overreact to one camp report, but there's some people that do. But right here, I want as much exposure to Kyle Pitts as I can. So I'm fine with taking him in the 4th round. I think he has as much target opportunity as some of the wide receivers that are going in this range.
Absolutely.
It's just that simple. You can try and capitalize on him becoming an elite tight end, which a lot of people think that he will become, us included. But there is a lot of Kyle Pitts haters.
Yeah, we call those people the rake.
Yeah. The rake.
Wouldn't surprise me at all for Kyle Pitts to finish higher than tight end 4, and people are acting like it's his ceiling.
Yeah. I think drafting Kelsey at 107 is drafting him at a ceiling.
Yep.
You know,
Absolutely.
drafting Waller at pick 20 might be his ceiling. Kittle, you know, he could definitely finish higher than this, but Pitts, he could definitely finish higher than Kittle. I think he's going to see more targets. Personally, I have Pitts ranked ahead of Kittle
Mm.
in you know my top 5. So there's a case to be made there.
I'm gonna go ahead and fade the recent reports that Jamar Chase is having issues, separating. I think we've seen enough out of him from college to know the talent's there. He's elite.
Just
I'm
the
with it. Yeah, he'll be volatile, I'm sure. The targets are going to get spread around in this offense. The O line is a concern, but
I
God, the
mean,
upside's
yeah.
definitely there.
Yeah. I mean, I obviously love Jamar Chase, have a ton of shares of him. Most of those when he was going in the 7th round. Just an elite talent. But this is a guy, you know, he hasn't played football since 2019, so almost 2 years. Like you said, Bengals O line is dog water.
Hmm.
A lot of targets there, a lot of mouths to feed. And I just think the Bengals team is going to be terrible again. I think that's a 5-win team max.
It's not bad though for Chase, right? Elevated pass attempts, garbage time,
No,
slinging the ball.
definitely not bad for the Bengals pass catchers. But I don't think they're going to score many points. And I think a lot of people are in on the Bengals this year, which I like the skill position guys. I just think as a team they're not going to be good. And you know you kind of do want players on good offenses and good
Hmm.
teams. It's kind of a you know a rule of mine, but it is what it is. In this 5th round, I think this is when things start to dry up a little bit, just in terms of wide receiver. Like you're never taking Michael Thomas here anymore. Kenny G, I probably wouldn't take him. So you're kind of just sucked into Claypool or Robbie in the 5th round, which is disgusting.
I mean, I'll take L-Jax here in
Uh,
total points. I mean,
that makes sense. Yeah.
hopefully he gets the vax soon. He said he's getting educated about it, but we'll find out about that. By week 7, we'll be dominant. Um, Referring to Chase. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. By the way, guys, if you are watching this, drop your drafters username in the comments. We're going to give away a free entry at the end of this stream.
Oh, all right, Philly. Who are you
I
gonna?
love Claypool and Robbie. So do I. I like both of them. I mean, I'm a little less bullish on Claypool than Robbie. I think everything is kind of lining up for Robbie right now with the reunion with Sam Darnold. I know there's a lot of Terrence Marshall hype right now, but the hype is that he could win the wide receiver 3 spot. Anderson was the wide receiver 1A with DJ Moore. As the 1B last year for a long stretch. So, yep, I like that. Kyler Murray paired with DeAndre Hopkins.
Easy, easy pick right there. To get my stack, I was hoping that Philly or Bob wouldn't have took them, and they didn't. So shout out to them for letting me get that stack off. But this is probably the range where I'll start targeting running backs. You know, we get the fall of Josh Jacobs. I'm never drafting Mike Davis. I don't know if you're on board with that or not, but I'm just not taking a journeyman running back on his 5th team behind a bad O line on an offense that's not going to be able to run the ball ever.
Not going to
And
want to run the ball.
yeah, and Mike Davis just he's average. You know, he's not gonna force you to give him 20 touches a game, and I think he's being drafted as if that's the case.
Yeah. Plus, they
So
just added my son, Deontay Foreman, to the roster.
yeah, and I don't think Dante Foreman is gonna do anything. But oh god, I don't know. I don't know who to go with. I think Kenny G.
See, I'm still drafting Kenny G right now, especially when he falls to the 6. Like, it doesn't seem like he's in any danger of actually missing games. Like, he's just missing some practices. Like,
Yeah, no, he should definitely be fine for week 1. So I don't mind him in the 6th round, But that Giants offense, I mean, it could absolutely be abysmal with Daniel Jones at the helm. So we'll have to wait and see on Kenny G and the Giants offense. But I'm kind of down on Daniel Jones, obviously, and all of the Giants guys. But all right, shit. All right, what are you thinking here? Running back?
I was thinking Kareem Hunt, but not anymore.
You got Mike Davis.
No, I'm not. I'm not taking Mike Davis.
Juju's interesting here. So is not MT, Chark or Chenault.
I think I got a reach here for your boy.
Chase Edmonds, RB1 season.
I need it. Need it bad.
I respect it.
Full PPR, I like him more than I like him on underdog. You know, that's kind of where we've been focusing the last month or two, you know, with the puppy and puppy 2 drafts. And, you know, I haven't been the highest on Chase Edmonds, but on a full PPR site, I definitely prefer him to James Conner.
Yeah. He's definitely better on full PPR. And I was kind of hoping that he was going to fall to me. I was considering him over Kenny G there, but just wanted to get my wide receiver 4. So looks like I am in a full 0 RB build, which I think is okay. But on a total points site, you know, if Christian McCaffrey goes for 450 fantasy points, my team is probably dead. So that's the only bad thing, you know, if you fade running back early, and Aaron Jones and Saquon, 2 guys that got drafted after my first round pick, if they go off for, you know, 430 points, it's a tough scene because you're going to need one of those guys.
Yeah, for sure. I went Visca here as my wide receiver 4. I mean, you know, I think it's been a toss-up whether you go with him or Chark as the wide receiver 1 in this offense. And with Chark dealing with an injury, missing time to, you know, gain chemistry with Trevor Lawrence right now, and all reports on Chenault have been positive for months. So, you know, I'm not fading Chark, not by any means. It was a minor surgery in his hand. He's not expected to miss time, but I mean, I think the touchdown upside is high with Visca. It really is.
Yeah, I like Visca. I like Chark a little bit more than Visca, but I think it's close. It's definitely a toss up between both. Obviously, there's a lot of Visca truthers out there, and Chark is dealing with like a fractured thumb or finger or something. So a lot of people are on the Visca train. Just haven't been in the range to take them, which is kind of unfortunate. But right here, I'm going to go with a perfect 0 RB candidate in Trey Sermon, a guy that could take the reins as the season goes on. And we know rookie running backs get exponentially better as the season goes on. So going to bet on Sermon. Going to try and grab Michael Carter here, I think, if he falls to me at pick 87 as well. Just 2 rookie running backs that I think could see prominent roles in their offense if things break right. So right here, I'm gonna go with Carter, pass catching upside with him, and secure 2 of my 5 running backs probably.
Two rookie running backs with the same bye. What could go wrong?
Hey, bye weeks don't matter. It's a way to get unique.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know if bye weeks matter. I need somebody who's smarter than me to do a real serious deep dive on that. Because if bye weeks matter, it's chalked for me after week 7.
I don't think they matter.
They could matter more on this site, I think, than underdog. Because you need to put up high scoring weeks every single week. Like, you can't have a bad week. to truly make this tournament. Like you can have a bad week in underdog and still finish top 2 and advance and be, on the same playing field as everybody else. But one seriously bad week on drafters could just tank your chances at winning, I think.
Yeah, no, that makes sense for sure. Yeah, you're gonna need to put up what, like 160, 170 a week on
Yep.
drafters minimum.
And have some bigger weeks than that, in the
Yeah.
mix as well.
Yeah, you're definitely going to need some 200 balls
Yep.
probably, or 190 somewhere around there if you want a chance to win first. And obviously, the more bye weeks you have on the same week, the less players available for that weekend. You don't think, or do you think you could survive like a 90-point week?
I think it would. I mean, so FF Oracle, who's picking from the 12th in this spot, won last year's tournament, and he won by an insane margin. When you look at it from a best ball, he won by like 200 points. So I guess theoretically, he could have scored. He could have had a really bad week and still won with that team. So I guess it's possible. I wouldn't want to take the risk.
Okay, yeah. I'm probably on the same page there with you. I usually do try and switch up my bye weeks, especially at running back, and especially if I'm going like hyper fragile where I'm only taking 4. I'm definitely making sure that all 4 have different bye weeks. Sometimes you fuck up and take 2 of the same guys with same bye weeks like I just did, but on drafters where I'm probably going to take 5-6 running backs, I think that's fine if I have 4 other running backs that are going to be playing in week 6. So I think it's fine on here. The 2 extra roster spots definitely help out a ton on drafters. But on underdog, you definitely have to be more thoughtful about bye weeks, just in terms of like your roster because you have less spots. But I do think bye weeks matter a little bit more on drafters, to your point. So, how's your team coming along?
I like it. Running back's a little weak, but wide receiver strong, and feeling good about quarterback and tight end with 2 of the elite guys at each position right now. So
Yeah. All right. I like your start. I think I'm gonna go with wide receiver here at 106, even though it's drying up pretty fast, and the wide receiver craze has gotten a bit extreme on drafters. I thought I'd never see the day. Everybody transitioned the wide receiver run from underdog over to drafters, and this is kind of disgusting. Right here, I mean, honestly, I think I just have to take the value in Pittman, even though I don't really like that. But
13 picks after ADP. I mean,
he's going to be on the field, right? He's going to see targets.
He's been operating as the Colts wide receiver 1. I just don't know what that's going to mean with, Jacob Eason throwing the ball.
Yeah, Jacob Eason or Sam Ellinger.
There's no such thing as luck, Houston. So I'm going to say that the Oracle is just goated. That's what I'm going to say.
No such thing as luck?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Because people see what happens, Joey, is people mistake luck with variance. Yes, variance is a thing, but luck is a cop-out, right? Oh, something bad happened to me. I'm unlucky. Where's the accountability? No, you made a mistake. Okay, it could have had a different outcome. Like you didn't know the outcome, but it was still based off a choice that you made in that moment. If you minimize your successes by saying, I got lucky, take some credit. You did that. You made that pick. Hopefully you did it for a reason. You earned that. That's skill. No such thing as luck.
Wise words.
I believe that with my soul.
Wise words from Benny H. from New York.
Absolutely.
The guy who runs better than anybody else that I know.
Never been lucky. Not a day in my life.
I didn't say you're lucky. I said you run better than everybody I know. That's variance.
It is. It's variance.
You have good
we
variance.
We all have the same.
You have good variance.
All right. I gotta shoot for the moon, right? Because my running backs with Chase Edmonds and Damian Harris, I'm gonna need something to break right for this team to be a champion. So give me a guy who has elite upside. I mean, it's gonna take an injury, but give me some Tony Pollard. I think he's gonna be involved in this offense more than people think. And Zeke goes down, he's a first round pick.
True. True. I definitely like Tony Pollard. I have a bunch of Tony Pollard exposure, so love that pick in the 10th, 11th round. Think he's going to have a little role, even with Zeke there. He should have a good, solid pass catching role for the Cowboys. So don't hate it, but
Luck equals preparation. I've heard that. I've heard that, luck favors the prepared. Okay. Okay.
but I mean,
Isn't preparation the skill in fantasy?
yeah. I mean, I don't think there's luck in fantasy. Well, I think there's you run good or you run bad. You run bad with injuries, like because that's something out of your control.
Right.
So if I draft Ruggs, and he tears his ACL, that's not because of my lack of skill. That's just running bad, which happens in fantasy though. So I guess you could use that argument is you know what you're signing up for when you play fantasy football is injuries, and you can't really use that as an excuse. But when you're playing, it's just some things do happen that you can't control, which I would equate to just negative variance.
Correct. Because luck insinuates some sort of like superstitious, someone from the heavens controlling, what's going
Luck
on.
is a synonym. It's a synonym for variance, but people use it to describe good or bad things that happen in life. But variance is a part of life.
Correct. Yes, sir.
That's the thing. So I don't really I mean, I'm in the same boat, but
Love
right
that pick for you.
right here easy. I'm in the same boat, but I can say when somebody runs better than expectation or lower than expectation, which I think is important to recognize because you might be as skilled as somebody in fantasy, but sometimes they'll run better than you, and that's just life.
Yeah, no, that's facts. That's facts.
But right here, I mean, this is just the worst part of the draft, in my opinion. There's nothing left at wide receiver. I mean,
See,
Gabe Davis is there.
if I'm you in this spot, I'm taking a surefire pick. I'm taking Matt Ryan as my QB2 paired with Kyle Pitts. That's what I'm doing in this spot. I love Matt Ryan's upside to finish high, but I guess it depends on your roster needs. Take an RB4 maybe. Gabe Davis? That's my son.
Gabe Davis paired with Diggs.
That is my absolute son.
Had to take him right there. I'm fine waiting on quarterback after I get Murray.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan probably isn't going to outscore Kyler Murray in most weeks. So in my last underdog draft, I literally had like the same start where I had Kyler and D Hop as my stack, and I just waited until like round 16 and took Zach Wilson as my QB2. Which I think is definitely the move. If you're investing in quarterback early, I'm fine with waiting 10 rounds and just stacking up the other positions that will, have a higher chance to make my lineup on a weekly basis.
My only goal with this team is for you to tell me it's good at the end. I'm taking all your guys. Give me Chase. Give me Damian. Give me Jacoby. This is a Big Joe special right here.
That's facts. I mean, I was just talking about quarterback, but I think you kind of fucked up. You took T-Law and Lamar. early. I mean, I think you could have waited.
I mean, I could have, but I think T-Law was the last potential difference maker on the board.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean I would include Justin Fields in that T Law tier.
Yeah, I guess you're right, but yeah, I don't know. It's stacked with my Visca. I'm a sucker for stacking.
Yeah, I obviously stacking is plus EV, right? But in a total points format, I think it's definitely lessened when you just need your guys to score points. But obviously, if Trevor's going off, one or two of his receiving options are going off, so it makes sense. But don't really need to go out of your way to stack. I don't think. But I mean, my team so far, I think it's pretty solid as a zero RB team.
Mm-hmm. I need a running back here.
There's not much left on the board at running back. What are you doing, J.D. McKissick?
I like McKissick. I don't care. I know Antonio Gibson is getting all the hype, but this was the same exact coaching staff that, fed McKissick passing down work over Antonio Gibson all year long last year. McKissick was the league winner, and his ADP hasn't really risen or changed at all from where he was going.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind McKissick, especially if you can get him after ADP. I think he's a fine, RB4, RB5 type back, and if Gibson goes down, he's like the only running back left on that team, and you know he'll have the role as the pass catcher, so don't mind him at all. Right here, I think this is a good time to take James White, especially on a full PPR site. So as you could see, like the archetype of my running backs is guys that will progress better later in the season, and guys that will have the pass catching roles on their offense. And James White, Kenyon Drake, Michael Carter, and those are the guys that I just like to target. Right here, easy pick, Hunter Henry. Even though he's dealing with a shoulder injury and he's not at Patriots practice today, I assume he's going to be fine for the regular season. And I like getting him as my tight end too with Kyle Pitts, and I'll probably be done at the tight end position.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I like Hunter Henry as well. And I mean, he's been undervalued all off season. And if that he becomes more undervalued because of this injury, I'm going to keep buying.
I think people are down on James White, especially on underdog, obviously, because it's half PPR. And then also there's a lot of Damian Harris hype this year. I think rightfully so. I think he is clear cut the best running back on the Patriots, and he's going to get touches this year. And then obviously Cam is starting, and he's going to vulture, touchdowns and rushing attempts. And we just didn't see him throw the ball that much to running backs last year with Cam under center. I think for James White to really hit his ceiling, the Patriots would have to transition to Mac Jones, which I think will happen eventually into the season. But in clear-cut passing downs, James White is going to be on the field. So just got to hope that, they'll make it more of an effort to get him the ball after, they re-signed him this year. He could have left. He could have went down to Tampa Bay and reunited with Brady, but he chose to stay in New England. So hopefully they use him in a bigger way than last year. And we've seen it before that this is a player that has the ceiling as some of the top guys when he's getting fed. So,
yep. Here in the 14th round, I took a hedge pick for myself. I've done almost 250 best ball drafts this offseason. I have so much Gabriel Davis. My season damn near depends on it. But, I'll get some Emmanuel Sanders exposure. He has been running ahead of Davis at Bills practice, and, 22 picks past ADP. I like that value for Emmanuel Sanders. He should have some viable weeks, even if he is old as shit.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to play ahead of Gabe Davis, and I've been
Not,
saying
I mean,
I've been saying that since they signed him, but you
for how
know,
long? Till week 3?
you let as long as he's healthy, he's going to be out there. I've been saying this for months now. Gabe Davis has his role in the offense, and we know what that role is. We saw it last year. He's going to get 4 to 5 targets a game, and they're all going to be deep shots, which is obviously good in best ball. You want players that are going to hit their ceiling, but this isn't a guy that's going to get there off volume. Absolutely not. You're just betting on his ceiling games attached to one of the most pass heavy offenses or offense in the NFL and the Bills. But this is you're just going to need him to get one long catch out of 4 a game, out of 4 to 5 targets.
That's so disrespectful. Give me the Ferk Daddy as my RB2.
I didn't know Anthony Ferkser was a running back.
Tight end too.
You said RB too.
Mm.
He's taking over the big dog's role.
He could. Jonnu did at a couple points. Jonnu's getting some rushing attempts in New England.
Yep. They're saying that he's unstoppable at Patriots camp.
I love to hear that. My highest owned tight end right now.
Yep. I'm right there with you. Him and Hunter Henry are my top 2, just because you can get them in the 14th round every trip. Just easy money.
Jonnu might be moving up. He's up to 12 now. He went 12th in this one.
Yeah, that's interesting for sure. But on Underdog, you could still get him in the 14th. Right here, Damian Williams in the 15th.
I like that.
Why not?
I was just scrolling to see if I could add him to my queue. I couldn't find him. That's why.
Obviously, I think Tariq Cohen is the superior pass catcher, but all signs point to him probably being, not involved at least for the first couple of games. And I think they went out and signed Damian Williams for him to be, that RB2 back behind David Montgomery, and he's a solid pass catcher as well. So don't mind him. Oh, sorry, Kwasi, sniped you. It's all right. You could snipe me in these later rounds.
The thing about Damian Williams is the last time we saw him, he should have been the Super Bowl MVP. And people forget that because it's been a while because he opted out from COVID. But, I know that he opted out of the season, so he didn't play for a full year, which could be a concern to some. But that's also another full year of him not getting, his body damage, not taking touches and, getting some time to rest up, come back right. So I like Damian Williams.
And, he's a cheap handcuff. If David Montgomery goes down, Damian Williams is a 20-touch guy, especially if Cohen's hurt. Like, if David Montgomery gets hurt week 1, 15th, 16th, 17th round, Damian Williams shares are literally sailing to the moon. So he's becoming one of my favorite running backs to target late, just as a, handcuff upside play. Because why
Still with a weekly role, too.
Why spend a 5th round pick on Kareem Hunt as a handcuff when you could spend a 16th round pick as Damian Williams as a handcuff? Galaxy brain.
No.
Galaxy brain.
Because Kareem Hunt is a top 10 running back in the league and Damian Williams is not.
That's not going to play more than 40% of snaps.
I mean, I agree.
I don't take Kareem Hunt because I'm not taking a backup running back in the 6th round. That's just bad process, I think. But
one of my favorite handcuffs as well in this range with I think underrated upside is Darrington Evans. The Titans have nobody behind Henry. Evans, has been looking fast. He's a better pass catcher than Derrick Henry. So, potentially some changes coming to this offense with the departure of Arthur Smith. Maybe the pass catching running back gets more usage than they did with that regime. And if so, Darrington Evans has standalone value with, a sky high upside if Henry ever goes down.
Yep. I mean, they compared him to like Alvin Kamara. They already take Henry off the fields and clear cut passing downs for him, although, he hasn't done much yet. If Henry does go down, Evans is, the guy clear cut. So don't mind him as a RB5 either, for sure.
We're getting to that point where it's just dry. Everything is dry.
This is where it's like 20 rounds might be a little too much, but gives you more chances to hit on some of these late round guys, and but in reality, all of these guys are pretty much the same. Like, all of these guys are just low floor, low ceiling guys that probably will give you one good week a year, unless you run absolutely good and one of these guys becomes like a wide receiver 1 or something.
See, for me, at this point in the draft, I'm done betting on players and I'm strictly betting on situations. So, for example, I'll go with right here, like a player like Byron Pringle, who I think, the initial depth chart dropped today for the Chiefs, and he was the wide receiver 3 ahead of Demarcus Robinson. I wouldn't put too much stock into that, but still, camp reports also say that Pringles looked good, and I'm just betting on a piece of the Chiefs offense. I don't have one on this team, and now I do. So,
yeah, I mean, I think Pringle is better than Demarcus Robinson either way. So, just as a player, I mean,
man, that's hard to hear. I love Demarcus Robinson.
Yeah, we know you love scrubs for whatever reason.
That's cap.
Yeah,
that's actual cap.
Let's go on Twitter. Let's play a game. Let's go on Twitter and then type in @BenHover and then space Denzel Mims. If you don't know, that's how you find specific tweets from your whatever new username you want to look at. You put the username, space, whatever phrase you want to find. All those tweets will come up. This guy's about to get cut. This guy is literally about to get cut.
Hey.
And you were touting him to the moon last season.
Yeah, I was. We all make mistakes, though.
Jesus.
Hey, the talent, the raw talent is there. I didn't know that he was going to, follow the Dorial Green Beckham path and just completely bust, even though the kid's dripping with talent.
Jeez. This guy is playing above Denzel Mims. Keelan Cole, a complete scrub.
Hey, that's fine. I got a lot of 20th round Keelan Cole shares. What you typing over there, bro?
I'm just typing, dude.
What are you typing, dude? I could tell. Some grimy shit's going on. I know you too well.
Bro, I'm not typing anything. What are you talking about?
Say I don't take Denzel Mims right now in the 18th round. Bet on talent.
You have about 15 tweets about Denzel Mims from last season. It's just truly disgusting.
Yeah, including some pictures.
He was one of your guys for 2020.
Speaking of, our guys podcast, one of my favorite yearly, is coming out very soon. Yeah, I definitely whiffed on that one last year.
Who's one of your guys for 2020? A little sneak peek, or 2021.
You want a little sneak peek?
A little sneak peek.
I mean, anybody who follows my Twitter
I could guess.
Yeah, I mean,
let me guess. Kyle Pitts. Is that one or no? That's probably one of mine.
I was thinking that probably because last year we did.
Gabe Davis is definitely one.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely.
A little sneak peek. Gabe, I'm bugging. Gabe Davis is definitely one.
He's the one. He's the one.
I mean, guess we're gonna have a little debate about that again. That's a terrible guy to have.
I mean, what's yours, Rojo? Like, come on, bro.
No. No.
Rojo, like
my guy. I mean, if you asked me earlier in the season before the draft, it was probably Jamar Chase. But
Jamar Chase is the next Denzel Mims.
Is he?
All the talent in the world, but can't separate at camp, apparently.
Oh, God. All right.
Last 2 rounds. Who's still available? Anybody interesting? Quarterback's completely dead. Running back. Some shots I'm willing to take, I guess. Wide receiver.
Cam Akers is still available.
Maybe he has, maybe he recovers, right?
In 2 months.
Yeah. I mean, he did run for like 170 yards on the Patriots with like a high ankle sprain last year or some shit.
Yep, true story.
The kid's special.
True story.
It still bothers me about how many people got bailed out of their Cam Akers fade.
Like me?
Exactly. It's
Some of us
so tilting. So tilting.
just galaxy brain, dude. I'm surprised. He's been like the only major injury so far. Like him and Michael Thomas have been like the only guys. I thought by now, like we're like 10 days into training camp. I thought by now we'd see more injuries than what we have, but it's kind of going good, and maybe I just jinxed it. Boston Scott, 19th round. I like that pick a lot. All signs point to Boston Scott having a role.
Yeah, Miles Sanders reportedly has been having a real tough go at it, been dropping balls, struggling with fumbles, and we already know that, if he's not going to be catching passes, what's he going to be doing?
Nothing.
Like, that's where his value comes from. And with Jalen Hurts there rushing the ball, I don't know. Miles Sanders has quickly become, a player that I have literally no exposure to in the last 2 months, and feeling vindicated with recent reports on him.
Yeah. Sanders is a clear-cut fade at this point in best ball. I mean, there's just no reason to take a player in, the 4th, 5th round that is going to lose pass down work to Gainwell and Boston Scott, and then rushing attempts and rushing touchdowns to his quarterback on a team where the head coaches came out and said that they want to use our BBC.
You're trolling.
No troll.
Bruh.
What?
This dude is dog water.
Dog. He's like the top Patriots player at camp right now.
No, he's not.
Yes,
That's Jacoby Myers.
No. N'Keal Harry has been making spectacular play after spectacular play in Patriots camp.
I mean, this dude's
how you gonna? I'm a Patriots fan, Ben. Okay. Nah, he's gonna get traded, which will boost his value even more.
Not worried about trade request amid Patriots camp.
He's gonna get traded.
Yeah. For what? What's the team gonna get? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would rather draft Sony Michel if we're looking at Patriots first round busts right now.
Oh, goodness. Should I draft little Jacob Harris action?
Tristan, welcome to the giveaway. Anybody else watching right now, if you want to be entered for a chance to win a free $11 entry into this tournament right here, drop your drafter's username in the comments. Got a couple guys in the chat who haven't done so yet. Hint, hint, Quasi, Philly, anybody else. We're going to have a wheel spin with 2 names in it. That'll be interesting.
It's all right.
Oh, got Quasi, so at least it'll be 3.
Maybe we just do like a little trivia. First one to get it right wins.
I like that.
See, it's just like with drafters, they just have to fix shit like this. Is like, now that my draft's over, at every pick now this pops up, so I have to unclick it,
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of unfortunate. shoot, sheesh.
God, I literally don't like have any interest in any of these players right now.
Gotta pick
Like
one.
none of them. I guess I'll take Dwayne. I don't know.
What a draft.
I don't know. Did you take Allison? That was you,
Mm-hmm.
Andre Allison. Hmm.
I have 3 running backs on a week 6 bye. What could go wrong?
Yeah. I like that Allison pick though. I mean,
It's all right though. I have 3 other running backs that will make up for that, so I'll be fine for week 6. But
did we end up with the same build here? I think we did. 2 6 10 2.
yes, sir.
Oof. That's how you know it's optimal when 2 sharps come out with the same build, bro.
All right.
Let's take
Draft's over. Got your team on the screen.
What do you think? I took a lot of your guys in this one. I'm expecting
Yeah.
a positive review here.
Yeah, solid team. Very, very good team. 0 RB build. Can't go wrong with that. Tyreek, DK, Chase, Chenault, Chase Edmonds, George Kittle. Solid draft.
Wasn't able to stack Lamar in this one in any spot that really made sense, but that's okay because so much of his value comes from rushing. I'm not too upset about that. Did stack T Law with Chenault, and if you guys are primarily drafting on underdog, I would say that you should cap your 0 RB teams at 5. But I do think that the 20-round drafts on drafters gives you a little bit of leeway to really go in a different direction. If you want to go with 6, I'm okay with going with 6, and I'm taking shots on upside guys. I think I've got a good balance of like floor and ceiling with my running backs. Edmonds and Harris should both have pretty decent, floors, I would think. McKissick as well. And then, Pollard and Evans have high ceilings, albeit dependent on injuries. And then Justin Jackson, a guy who was, thought to be on the roster bubble and potentially a cut candidate for the Chargers, has actually sort of risen and been the second most impressive running back behind Austin Eckler in camp right now. And I think that whoever that ends up being, whether it's Kelly or Jackson, that's going to be a valuable role. So I'm okay taking shots on both of those guys late.
Yep, I definitely agree, especially in the 20th round. I mean, very cheap handcuffs on what should be an elite offense behind an improved offensive line. So definitely like, choosing one of Kelly or Justin Jackson. And like I said, very, very, very solid team and should contend for sure. This is my team. Pretty much a similar build, just different players. Got the stack with Kyler, Hop. Got a stack with Zach Wilson, Keelan Cole, Michael Carter included in that because, if he's hitting his ceiling, it's probably through the air. So definitely made sense for my team. Solid wide receivers. Got what I think is one of the elite tight ends in the NFL already. I don't care. He's a rookie. Don't give a fuck. Kyle Pitts, Hunter Henry. I think very solid team. Running backs are definitely weak though, but got the pass catching backs on these teams. Maybe not Sermon so much, but Carter, Kenyon, James White, Damian Williams all should have a role in the passing game on their respective offenses, and those are the running backs that I want on a site like Drafters where you're getting one full point for each catch, and a guy like James White, he could get 6-7 catches in any given game and make my lineup. So don't hate that. Other than that, yeah, think a very solid team. I mean, wide receiver kind of fell off after Galladay, but got Pittman, Ruggs, Gabe Davis, Damian Williams, a real Super Bowl MVP. Yup.
That's a fact.
Yup.
That's an absolute fact.
So yeah.
Yeah. No, I like your team quite a bit for sure. For sure, I do.
Then we got Kwasi. He went to 2-7, 9. I think
2792.
2792 build. Waller early, Henry early, A-Rob, Deontay Boyd. Solid team. should definitely contend, especially with Henderson in the fifth, like that a lot. James Robinson, Gio, Devontae Booker just taking a lot of shots on some of these guys that might have some, standalone value, but obviously backups on their offense. But I don't hate it.
I would say I like this team. I do. I would say my one critique is that I think you could have probably, like, your running backs, I think there was enough upside and floor built in after 6. You didn't necessarily need Boston Scott. I mean, he's not a bad pick in that range. It's just, I don't know. I think with, Tannehill is going to have some boom weeks, but he's also going to have some really slow weeks when Derrick Henry takes over. And, depending on how soon Justin Fields starts, I think you could have used a QB3 or, it's never a bad option to add a wide receiver 10 on drafters. But other than that, I think this team is super solid. It's not a bad team by any stretch.
Yep. And then Philly
went 2-6-10-2, just like us.
Yep. Drafted OJ Howard late. Same bias, TJ Hawkinson, he put that in the chat.
Tough scene.
It's all right. I mean, if you're going to take a 0 at any position, it might as well be tight end. So don't mind that. But other than that, team is still solid all around with Cooper, Higgins, Devontae, MT. Probably not taking MT in a total points format. I like him better on underdog, and we've talked about that a little bit. You just can't not have one of your top 4 wide receivers missing 5, potentially more than 5 games on a total point site. So don't really like that pick, but I've made it on underdog, but I think the difference there is, come back for late in the season for the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the guys that go after Thomas. Like, you can see it on the screen: DJ Chark, Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks, like Landry, like all these guys. They're gonna outscore him in total points. I mean, without injury, this man is missing a minimum of 5 games, and I think that there's potential for more. I mean, yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. Don't love Thomas on this site.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, solid team, and a lot of these teams in this draft are solid. Seems like everybody kind of knew the optimal construction. I mean, this dude went 4 early, 4 in his first 4 picks, and then just didn't take one again, which is correct. Just hammered wide receiver.
If you want to see how to absolutely burn the most plus EV situation, take a look at team number 1. What are we doing, bro? 4 tight ends? Come on. How it's like getting gifted free money when you get the 101 and then just immediately lighting it on fire. Like, how can you do that? I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the players on his team though. Like Keenan, Odell, Gallup, AB, CMC, Joe Mixon, Josh Allen, Trey Lance. I mean,
no,
he's got a solid core of players. Just the construction is definitely lacking for sure. And I just think that he waited on tight end, so he wanted to go 4. But in his situation, I would only go 3, even if I wait. 3's the max that I would take at tight end and quarterback personally. But if he just uses that Dan Arnold pick at wide receiver, I think this team looks much better. From a construction standpoint, but I don't think it's horrible.
No, it's not horrible per se, but I mean, God, like when you're drafting Josh Allen, I'm not taking 3 quarterbacks, and I'm just never taking 4 tight ends. It's that simple.
No, 100%.
But other than that, pretty solid draft, I would say. A lot of solid drafters in here, as always. When our Discord members get in there, if you guys aren't already, join the Discord. I mean, God, we talk about best ball 24/7, and it's only going to get hotter as DFS season comes. Yeah. I literally can't wait, bro. 1 month away, we're going to be playing NFL DFS, like real NFL DFS.
Yeah, it's definitely lit. I might dabble in this preseason slate, though, on Thursday because the Patriots are playing in it against Washington, and it's a 2-game slate. They have like a $12 GPP with like 50K to first or something stupid. So I think I'm just going to throw a lineup in there and see what happens. But
how many quarters is Mac Jones playing?
I think that Cam gets a quarter, Matt gets a quarter, and Hoyer gets a half. It's just interesting because now that there's only 3 games, right? How are they going to play the starters over the course of 3 games? I think if I had to guess, I think this first game would be game 2 of previous years, where
Yes.
starters get a little bit of run, maybe like half of the first quarter, maybe the whole first quarter, and then come out. And then game 2 would be game
Mm-hmm.
3, and that's the game where starters play the most.
Mm-hmm.
Would be
Sometimes full quarters,
yeah,
quarter and a half even,
yeah.
depending on the situation.
And then game 3 of this year, moving forward, is just going to be the game 4 where it's just all of the third, fourth stringers competing to get onto the 53-man roster. All the starters are going to sit. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm definitely going to hit up some Patriots beat writers before the game on Thursday and Wednesday and see what they have to say. And I think that's where the edge comes in NFL DFS. But it's definitely a lot of work for preseason football. So I'll let other people do the content around that in the industry, because
Yeah.
it is a lot of work. It's definitely more work than like regular season.
Yeah, no, it is. It is with less payout too, or
Yeah.
less potential payout. But what do you say we give away an entry to this tournament? We got a couple people still in here.
I mean, gonna be a quick giveaway, 4 names. One of our Discord members is gonna win, so shout out to one of these guys. Just spin it here. Ben will get that all situated for whoever wins. Oh, that Philly! What a guy!
What a guy,
He
Philly!
just won a free draft.
And look at that. He just commented in the chat. MT was an auto draft. Well, you just got a free one to try again. Make sure you don't draft him in that one.
I'm definitely expecting him to be at the top of one of these drafters tournaments for sure.
Yeah.
He's a shark. So shout out to Philly.
Yep. Shout out to Philly, man. And thank you guys for watching the stream. Make sure you drop a like if you're watching on replay. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And we'll be back with a new episode of the podcast on Thursday, dropping on every single platform: Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, everywhere. Dropping on Thursday. Joey, anything else we need to tell the people?
Nope. I think that's it. And like you said, we'll be back next Monday. We'll either do a draft on here again, draft on Underdog. We'll figure it out. But yeah, shout out to everybody that watched today.
Absolutely. Shout out to the people. Until next time, we'll talk to you then.